Welcome back to Sportsbook Review Videos. I'm Jordan Sharp, and this is once again your Sharp versus Swinger NFL picks battle. We've already given you our two plays on the spreads. Make sure you check those out, but it is time to talk totals. And right now, the Swinger and I locked in a heated battle, but we're 9-5 against the spread to start the season. Swinger, it's like we said in the spread video. If you're not tailing these picks, we really can't help you. But we got a couple of nice total plays for you, and I have a feeling that I'm going to agree with you on this total play here for you this week. What do you got for the people out there?
All right, baby. I am looking at Pittsburgh and St. Louis. Now, the public's going to bet the Steelers like they're reading Monday's newspapers because they have staggeringly short-term memories. Pittsburgh, as you know, handled the Niners with relative ease last week while the Rams lost to the lowly Redskins. Now, the problem is that St. Louis was due for a huge letdown after defeating the Seahawks in their opener, which I called for. That's why I told everyone to bet the Washington Redskins, who, of course, beat the Rams one outright, while Pittsburgh was just itching to atone for their defeat at New England. Now, I'm going to stay away from the side on this game because the Rams have themselves a solid run-stop unit, while the Steelers' defense can't seem to stop a parked car. So that would seem to bode well for St. Louis, but I'm just so impressed by this Pittsburgh offense that I'm going to make the side. The side is a no-go for me. It's a pass. But I am going over this total because this is a matchup of a superior, a premium offense. And on the flip side of things, they've got such a porous defense that anybody can score points. So I really like the over here. But I got to tell you something. This comes with a rather large caveat emptor because I am 5-3 ATS on the season, but 2 of those 3 losses have been totals, and none of those 5 wins have been totals. So in essence, I've had 2 totals and I've lost them both. But here are a few stats I want you to consider. Pittsburgh in non-conference games, the over is 8-1 over the last 9. St. Louis is a home underdog of 3 points or less. Over is 4-0. St. Louis in non-con games, the over is 6-2. St. Louis in domed games, the over is 14-7. Let's go over 47 and a hook.
I think you have the definite right narrative here, man, because the St. Louis Rams defense has looked night and day at home versus the road, but so has their offense. So I think getting indoors on that turf against a defense like the Pittsburgh Steelers that just gives up points and yards just in bunches, I'm right there with you. I think Nick Foles in that offense has a bounce-back game this week. And like you said, on the flip side, I think outside of maybe the Patriots and the Packers, the Steelers have the best offense in the entire NFL. Oh, and guess what? They get the best running back in the league back this year in Le'Veon Bell. I don't care how good the Rams are against the run. Le'Veon Bell is going to get into some space. They're going to get him out in the flat. They're going to swing some passes to him. I think the Steelers here are a good lock for 25 to 30 points in this one. And as we said, we both think the Rams due for a bounce-back game this week. So, and I'll also fail to mention, the Steelers are always going for 2. I don't care if they are indoors. They're going to keep going for 2, and they got Le'Veon Bell back, so that's just going to add to that stable of options they have there down on the 2-yard line after they score touchdowns. So that just adds, I think, to your play here. One of the higher totals of the week. I still definitely like it, though, my friend. So for me, I'm going with a similar game here. Interestingly enough, the Jacksonville Jaguars on the road in New England, and I'm going to take you back in the Sharp time machine, my friend. I'm going to take you all the way back.
I love that. I love that.
All the way back here, my friend, 8 years ago to 2007, the year of Spygate and the year of the Patriots going undefeated in the regular season, thanks to a huge year from Tom Brady and a Hall of Fame wide receiver, Randy Moss.
And by the way, that was also the year that your voice changed.
Yes, actually, you're right. It was. That was the year I went through puberty. Thanks for pointing that out, sir. So, I mean, if you look at this game, you have the Patriots here coming off of what was probably one of the most tumultuous off seasons when it comes to non-football related storylines. And a similar thing happened to them in 2007 after Spygate. And for lack of a better term, they went on the Roger Goodell NFL Fuck You tour. And they just started dropping points in bunches. They didn't care if they were up by 25 at halftime. They were going to continue to throw the ball. And they averaged scoring about 38 points per game that year. And I think they have, A, similar upside on offense this year, and B, definite motivation to show Roger Goodell and the rest of the NFL that they are not to be messed with on that side of the football, with the best tight end in football, one of the best red zone options against this Jaguars defense on the road. I don't think the Jaguars are going to come anywhere close to stopping New England in this one. I am also going with the over here at around 47.5. Pats right now, I think, or excuse me, the Spygate Pats averaging about 36 points per game in that one, whereas the Jaguars marked differences last year between their road defense and their home defense. Gave up about 5 or 6 more points per game on the road. I like their defensive upside, just not in Foxborough this week, sir. I'm going with the over here at 47.5. What do you think about that one here? The Patriots dropping a ton of points on young Jacksonville this week.
Well, I'll tell you, when you talk about the Patriots and they have this vision quest, and I actually think that the similarities between the year after the Spygate and this year are striking. It's going to be a scorched earth policy Belichick is going to employ. And you have to think to yourself, last week, when they were 24 points ahead, what did they do? They didn't milk the clock.
Yep.
They continued to throw it. Now, that wasn't successful because Buffalo eventually crawled back into the game. But what does that tell you? I mean, Belichick, of course, knows the right thing to do is to milk the clock. But you know what he said? He said, screw you. I'm going for it. I am going to ring this up. The other thing I want to point out, too, is that, believe it or not, Tom Brady, who broke a record last week for touchdown passes career-wise, he also had 3. He had 3 in the game. He had 466 yards. Did he get AFC Player of the Week? Oh, no. That went to Ben Roethlisberger, who had the same amount of touchdowns, only 100 yards less passing. And Ben Roethlisberger did it one at home, where Brady went on the road to a divisional opponent and won. Yet the NFL decided to give that distinction to Ben Roethlisberger. This is Patriots versus the world. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they just kept coming and coming all year long. Yeah, not a bad play at all. It's one that, honestly, I overlooked.
I mean, if they don't score 35 points in this game, I am going to be very, very surprised. And on the flip side, let's not forget, the Jaguars and Blake Bortles are looking better on offense. They're still without their big free agent tight end signing in Julius Thomas, but they have some really nice young receivers. Allen Robinson, Allen Hurns, those guys are able to beat here. I think they're able to beat some of the Patriots' defense. A defense, by the way, that, as you've mentioned, has not been that great this season. Definitely a lot worse than what they've been last season. They've been giving up points a lot. They've been giving up a lot of yards, especially on the ground. So I think and young TJ Yeldon might have some success this week on the ground. I think the Jaguars are good for a couple of touchdowns, couple field goals in this one, up to 20 points. This could easily be, like a 35-21 game, something like that. Way over, I think, is the good play on this one. So look at us. We're going with the chalk in this. We're going with a couple of favorites in our spread picks. We're going with the over here. We may be square, but we also may be pretty good on this one. I don't know. Our record shows that we so far know what we're talking about. Let's see if that can continue, sir. They're here in week number 3. But that'll do it for us. Thanks for joining us this time for Swinging Johnson. I'm Jordan Sharp. Best of luck to you here on all of your Week 3 NFL picks.